Welcome to FRC Media News for Thursday, August 4th, 2016. I'm Keith Tebow. On this week's show, we have an update on the Duvall School renovation project, an explanation from the Fall River Chamber of Commerce president about a recent alternative energy bill passed into law, and an historical analysis of the Lizzie Borden murder trial on this, the 124th anniversary of that event. But first, let's check out the headlines of the week as we are joined each week by Will Richmond, the digital news editor at the Herald News. Hey, Will, how are you?
I'm good, Keith. How you doing?
Good. First of all, kudos, congratulations to the Herald News. The Herald News today launched a brand new website, a cleaner look. Has this been in the works for a while?
Yeah, this has been, I'd say, at least a year in the making. Actually, probably a little bit longer now as we hit August. So today was the relaunch for the daily newspapers across Massachusetts in the Gatehouse New England chain. So the idea is that it's going to be a lot faster. You should see a lot more photos on it. And as well on mobile, the mobile experience is really something that we're hoping will be a great focus for people who are using this on their phones and their tablets. So that's really one of the highlights of it, as well as the mobile aspect of it. Should be really appealing for users.
Yeah, we're looking at a little bit of it right now. That's always exciting, launching new looks of a website, but also a little, get nervous too, because you never know if things are going to work correctly. So congratulations to the Herald News on the launch of its new website. Let's talk about a few things in the news this week. Unfortunately, another tragedy on our roadways this time. We talked about an incident in the water a few weeks ago, but this one on the roadways where a dirt bike accident this week, a bike early in the morning, I believe it was Tuesday or Monday morning, colliding with a Fall River police cruiser. I guess fill in the people a little bit about what happened and if there's any update.
Sure. From the initial investigations, has been reported by the district attorney's office, there were 3 police cruisers responding to an accident call in the city's south end around 1:30. I believe it was 1:30 Wednesday morning. And as they were going through the intersection of Slade and Montauk Streets, a dirt bike being operated by a 19-year-old collided with one of the cruisers on the front passenger side, sort of ejecting the dirt bike driver from his vehicle into the cruiser. After being treated at the scene and taken to St. Anne's Hospital, that operator was pronounced dead. So at this point, that investigation continues. But yeah, sadly, one person dead from this accident.
It just seems like a strange confluence of events that, the police were actually going to another call and then they happened to just, collide with that dirt bike. So it's just really odd situation there. But again, unfortunately, another death on our roadways. Let's move ahead a little bit further. The legislative session here in Massachusetts ended late Sunday, early Monday, and I know the Herald News has reported a little bit on some of the after effects of the legislative session this year. What can Greater Fall River expect from this past legislative session?
Yeah, some funding allocations should be coming Fall River's way now. Money for the King Philip Mill to kind of determine the future there and help with remediation of any cleanup, as well as the old police station on Bedford Street that also received a funding for environmental cleanup and remediation there. I know that has been a long time problem property in the city in terms of, it's sat there vacant for years, has been filled with vandalism, people entering the building. It is boarded up now, and I believe there's still fences around it. But even, the fire department wants nothing to do with it if something should happen there. So money for that hopefully will help to move that forward and, either get it knocked down or someone can come in. Money's there to get it cleaned up and get it redeveloped.
And we'll have another story later on about one of the bills concerning alternative energy initiatives in Massachusetts and the local ramifications of that a little bit later on. Of course, today, as we mentioned, also we'll have a little bit later on the anniversary of the Borden murders. people want to say the Lizzie Borden murders, but, she was never convicted of that murder. So I know the paper had quite a spread today about, the celebration, it seems like, that takes place here in Fall River every year.
Yeah, actually, as we speak right now on Thursday afternoon, we have 2 reporters over at the Lizzie Borden house on the tour themselves. But yeah, it's that time of year again, the anniversary. I think it's safe to call them the Borden murders, since there were the Bordens murdered. But yeah, so we certainly try to get information out today for people who may be visiting the area for the first time. We're looking to expand their knowledge on Lizzie, about some of the other famous Lizzie spots in Fall River, including her burial site in Oak Grove Cemetery.
Right.
So. Yeah.
Definitely quite the crowd around the B&B, and also I'm sure the Historical Society is busy today, so that's good. Tourism in Fall River is always a good thing. All right, Will, what's coming up in the paper coming up over the next few days?
Next few days, I think tomorrow's paper, in conjunction with the opening ceremonies for the Summer Olympics down in Rio tomorrow night, you'll find a story about a Fall River tie to those games, to then possibly the opening ceremony. So I'd keep an eye out for that. And as well, we went out this week and talked with some folks using the new Quikasham Rail Trail, which seems to be a real highlight for the city. So you're seeing a little bit about that coming up.
A lot of summer stuff, as we're already in August. That means September's here, and then, well, I don't want to start talking about winter.
Hey, let's not jump ahead.
No, let's not get too far ahead. All right, Will Richmond, thanks a lot. We'll talk again soon.
All right, have a good weekend, Keith.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Fall River Career Center. Full-time direct hire for a line technician responsible for performing routine repairs and maintenance at our manufacturing facility. Food industry experience preferred. Job number 7645441. Part-time bus driver for a human service agency that serves the greater Fall River area. The candidate will be responsible for transporting 29 clients and must possess a commercial driver's license. Job number 7679012. Skilled carpenters with a minimum of 3 years experience, also with knowledge in all aspects of finish and framing carpentry work. Call 508-676-6300 to set up an interview. Walk-ins are also welcome. Job number 7673199. Full-time certified nurses assistants wanted, experience preferred, needed for all shifts, including holidays and weekends. Job number 7678873. Entry-level manufacturing position, Tech Etch, a leading manufacturer of precision metal parts and other high-tech applications, is looking for people to train for the available position. Must have good hand-eye coordination and the ability to learn how to read measuring equipment a must. Job number 7672823. Local company seeking sewing machine operators for full or part-time positions. Please apply in person. You can set up a time with the Fall River Career Center. Job number 7638758. For more information on these or other positions, please call the Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. The Flint Neighborhood Association is renovating the Duvall School in an effort to turn the former educational institution into a community center that's slated to open later this winter. Association President Carlos Caesar spoke to FRC Media News about the recent asbestos removal project that's now been ended.
The Duvall Street has gotten some hazardous material removed. Can you tell us the details?
Yes, finally, after the two years that we purchased the building and we've been having fundraisers, we finally came up with the money to remove the asbestos, and as probably an hour or two ago, I did got the paperwork saying that the Duvall School is right now asbestos-free, and now our work is beginning. We have a lot of things going on behind the scenes, kind of contractors and stuff like that, but we could bring them into the building until now. Now we official asbestos-free, and we moving forward.
Which is very exciting. Now, I know some of the asbestos was just in the piping. It wasn't a total renovation, correct?
Exactly. So this is a building built in 1892. So it's a building with 125 years, around there. At that time, these buildings were made, they had asbestos covering the pipes, especially the heating pipes. And because of the schools being broke in and pipes being installed, they kind of they got those asbestos loosed on the ground and some hanging from the floor, from the ceilings. So what happened was the company identified everything that was loose. These buildings were used, especially this building was used until 7 years ago. So all the asbestos on the floors are sealed. And as long as everything is sealed, and we're going to be putting new floors, sealing whatever asbestos it's on the floors, now we are safe. Everything that was loose, that was a potential problem on the building, got removed today, and so this way we all set to start construction.
The House and Senate hammered out an alternative energy bill over the weekend at the State House in Boston. The end result was legislation that came out of a conference committee that is sitting well with Fall River Chamber of Commerce President Rob Mellion.
The governor really wanted a hydro package. In this, he got 1,200 megawatts of hydro, and then there's I want to say 1,600 megawatts of offshore wind. Now, this is important. The offshore wind piece of the bill is very important to the South Coast and also to Bristol Community College, because what has been done through the Haddad bill is the incentive to create an offshore wind industry, potentially to be located here in the South Coast, because the place to create offshore wind is right off of Buzzards Bay. It's one of the best wind generating sources in the United States. It's right here. And it is perfectly located to tie it into Brayton Point Station, which is scheduled to go offline next year. And to my knowledge, actually, after the passage of this bill, I want to say that it was on Wednesday, maybe Tuesday, of the following week, that Dong Energy applied to FERC, or not to FERC, to ISO New England, and submitted an application to tie into the Brayton Point Station to generate offshore wind. So this is exciting.
But what does that mean for businesses?
What it means for businesses is, due to the fact that you had 2,600 megawatts of electricity that is going to be created in the future, in addition to no ban on natural gas infrastructure, we will have a infrastructure in place for the future that will sustain the needs of businesses and residents alike in Massachusetts. This was a comprehensive bill. That was one of the things that the governor had asked for. That's what he got. And I think that, in my opinion, it was a very good first step at diversifying and adding in green alternatives for the long-term sustainability, while also addressing practical needs by upgrading our existing infrastructure, but still turning us away from dirty fossil fuels such as oil and coal.
Mellion was asked what the alternative energy means for local ratepayers.
Rates are going to go up, and we already have the highest electricity rates in the continental United States. We have right now the third highest in the entire country for electricity rates. They're going to go up a little bit, and that was an issue that got business associations to work with the legislature to address this issue in the first place, because businesses are paying a lot of money right now for electricity. As an example, industry pays 108% more than the national average for electricity. Residents in Massachusetts pay around 67% more than the national average for electricity. And then businesses in general pay around 57% more than the national average for electricity. That's now, and it's probably going to go up a little bit.
Today, August 4th, is the 124th anniversary when Fall River resident Lizzie Borden was accused with killing her parents. Donna Mata has more.
We're here at the Fall River Historical Society to take a look at the Lizzie Borden exhibits. We spoke with Assistant Curator Dennis Benet about the special exhibits at the Historical Society. For example, the acts suspected used in the murder and other court documents. Benet also tells FRCMedia News some of his thoughts concerning the mystery surrounding the trial.
In the research that we've done working on the book Parallel Lives, it more and more became difficult to believe that she was capable of that violent an act, because her character was totally different. It was a character that would not allow for that kind of behavior. She was very spiritual. She was very kind, giving. She loved kids. There was one little girl that every year on her birthday, she sent the little girl birthday card special delivery. No, that means when the doorbell rings, it's not just all the mail with your birthday card, it's just for you.
Did the fact that the thank you card that she wrote to the jurors, which is here in the Historical Society, have any impact on your thoughts?
I think it's interesting. That one's just intriguing. I mean, one, to request a photograph of the jury, and two, to have it framed and hanging in your house. I mean, personally, if I was accused of murder and acquitted, the last thing I would want to do is every time I walk into my living room, see a picture of the jury that acquitted me. I would like to put it behind me. Yeah, the letter's interesting. It's not just a thank you for the photograph, it's a thank you for the acquittal, which I don't think you see happening much anymore.
Group tours are also being held Friday and Saturday at the Historical Society for those interested in learning more. One tour was held Thursday, August 3rd, where Benet spoke about the fact Lizzie's father, Andrew Borden, was not the miser he was claimed to be.
Testimony at the trial, okay? What did they have to eat? Well, they did have mutton that week, but they had swordfish, fresh swordfish. Yeah. They had pork cutlets that morning for breakfast. No?
This was cooked fresh?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Andrew Borden employed a woman as housekeeper. He had 3 adult women living at home unemployed, all getting allowances. What did they do? What did the maid do? The maid had charge of her own room. She had charge of the kitchen. She cooked, she did laundry. Testimony, this is my favorite part. Testimony of the trial. What were your responsibilities? And she goes through and she does the laundry list of her responsibilities. And then once every other Friday morning, she swept the front hall. Okay, pretty easy job. Not bad. Andrew Borden spent the money to have a domestic working in a household when he wouldn't even have to have a domestic working in a household.
The Lizzie Borden exhibits will be on display Friday and Saturday during regular business hours. You can call the Historical Society for more information. For FRCMedia News, I'm Donna Mata.
August 4th is another historical date, also at the Fall River Public Library in North Main Street. Donna Mata spoke with Library Administrator Laurel Clark, who gives us the details.
So the document is an original invitation to the laying of the cornerstone of the Statue of Liberty. It was done August 5th, 1884. It was addressed to Robert T. Davis, who is this gentleman up here. He was a great benefactor of the library. He was mayor at one point, and he also was in state Congress.
Now, how did you find this document?
This was in our attic. I imagine that it got packed away, and then when we were doing a little housekeeping, it turned up, and we decided that we wanted to really highlight it.
Now, whose handwriting is it actually?
That I am not sure. I believe it was Davis that signed it. I've done a little research, but nothing conclusive.
Now, tell us about the display case and the actual Statue of Liberty.
So the display case was made by the wonderful students at Diamond, And the sculpture was made by our own David Mello, children's services supervisor.
So he made that out of plaster, you think?
Plaster, yes. Yes. And the crown itself is made out of something else, but I'm not sure.
And how long did it take to get the display up and running?
Well, altogether a while. We found this last summer. The invitation itself and the display case took a little while, and then the sculpture took a little while. So it was a bit of a process.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
So this is Rin. Rin, he's about 4 years old, and he's a Dachshund mix. He's, as you can see, a little bit rotund. Got a little bit of meat on him, but I wouldn't say that he's overweight. He's usually very playful too. Come on down, check him out, play with him a little bit. If you've got the energy to match him, you'll make a great fit. So this is Reggie. Reggie's 2 years old. He's a very lovable cat, very playful. Not so much of a lap cat, though. He will do that for a little bit, but really he's just more of a playful cat. He can be a little bit of a handful. You'll have to be able to keep up with him. He tries to slip out of doors and stuff like that sometimes, but it's just really his playfulness. Overall, I mean, I'd say he's one of my favorites at the moment, actually. His personality, he has a big personality, so it's hard not to notice him. So if you would like to notice him a little bit more, come on down.
Welcome back. Gates of Hope is a food pantry that's located at the former Duvall School and has been in operation for just over a year. President Faith Scallion urges people to take advantage of the program this summer.
So our food pantry is run Tuesday through Saturday. It's by appointment only. If you would like to find out some more information about possibly making an appointment, you could call us at 508-837-1962, or you could visit our Facebook page, Gates of Hope Inc., and you could message us there.
Now, I know that usually in the wintertime, people will even volunteer for soup kitchens and that sort of thing, but you have this program in the summer as well.
Yes, we do.
And where does the food come from, and what's the nutritional value?
The food comes from, mostly the food is donated by local businesses. Some of it is we have to purchase out of pocket. The nutritional value varies. I mean, we get everything in from meats to snacks and bread. So it's a little bit of everything.
And who cooks it? Like, who prepares it?
We do usually.
You meaning your staff?
Yes.
Okay. And who's eligible to be part of the program?
Anybody's eligible. We don't discriminate as far as, location. If you're from Fall River, that's fine. If you're from another city or town, that's fine also.
Wow, so you're pretty liberal in that sense.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Now, what is the atmosphere like? Do people come and do they socialize? I mean, what's the atmosphere on a typical day?
A typical day at the food pantry, they kind of come in and go out. They don't. Some people stay and hang out, but normally it's in and out. At our events that we have, the cookouts, that's a different story. We run them from 12 to 4. Next one is August 20th, and we're going to have a petting zoo here also. So those people usually hang out. We have a cookout, kids, events and stuff. So that's very sociable. That's a time where everybody kind of just hangs out and relaxes for the day.
Bristol Community College is organizing a recruitment and registration event that they're calling Super Saturdays. The event will be held this Saturday, August 6th, at the New Bedford and Attleboro campuses, and next Saturday, August 13th, here in Fall River and in Taunton. The event starts at 9 a.m. and is designed to help prospective and returning students to get an all-around introduction to what BCC has to offer in a one-stop shopping atmosphere. Here's BCC's Registrar Ben Bauman with more.
There are certain things that you need to bring with you if you're brand new off the street, haven't really contacted BCC in the past, and we don't have any of your information. We would need you to bring certain things on that day to sort of complete all the steps. From an admissions perspective, we would need you to bring in your high school transcript so that we could verify that you graduated from high school, and you would fill out our admissions application. From a financial aid standpoint, we would need some tax information. We would actually need your 2015 tax returns to help facilitate you completing the FAFSA that day. That's the free application for federal student aid. So those are two of the things that you would need if you were sort of, brand new right off the street. As a returning student or a student that maybe has completed the admissions financial aid process, you would be able to come for a placement testing session that day. We're going to be having them at 9 a.m. each of those Super Saturday events. And then at 11:30, we would have an orientation and a registration session for those. Now, those do require pre-registration, so if you're interested in that, you can go right onto our website and sign up for those placement testing and/or orientation and registration sessions.
So those have to be done ahead of time, even on this Saturday, at these Super Saturday days?
Even on this Saturday, what we'll do for students who are brand new is we'll actually hold a couple of seats in reserve,
Right.
so that if
Right.
they do come in and they have
get it all
everything, all the ducks are in a row, we're going to let you also do the testing. But if you're a returning student, or if you're, say, midway through the process and you don't need those other services, we do recommend that you pre-register for the placement testing session and the registration orientation session.
For more information on those Super Saturday events, visit the Bristol Community College website. That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. You can watch FRC Media News Thursdays and Fridays at 6 p.m., but online 24/7 at frcmedianews.org. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Thursday.